What if I told you that the reason you're struggling financially has nothing to do with how hard you work, how many hours you put in, or even how smart you are about money, but everything to do with the fact that you've been speaking the wrong language to the universe this entire time? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Right now, as you're watching, there are people across the globe who have discovered something that completely transformed their relationship with money. Not through grinding harder, not through complex investment strategies, not through sacrificing their health and relationships for financial success. They've uncovered a hidden truth that most people will spend their entire lives searching for without ever finding. That money isn't something you chase, it's something that responds to your command. Has this ever happened to you? You work longer hours than ever before, stress about bills constantly, worry about having enough for the future, yet somehow the harder you try, the more elusive financial freedom becomes. You feel like you're running on a hamster wheel, exhausting yourself but never really getting anywhere. Meanwhile, you watch others seem to effortlessly attract opportunities, wealth and abundance, and you wonder what secret they know that you don't. Here's what might surprise you. You've been approaching money like a desperate beggar when you were born to live like a divine heir. The difference between these two approaches isn't just philosophical. It's the difference between struggle and flow, between anxiety and certainty, between constantly chasing and naturally receiving. While the world teaches you to hustle harder, work longer, and fight your way to financial success, there's an ancient understanding that reveals money as something far more profound. Money, in its truest essence, is energy. Pure spiritual substance that's designed to move and flow according to specific laws that operate with the same precision as gravity. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might completely revolutionize how you think about wealth creation. The secret isn't in doing more, it's in speaking differently. It's not about earning money through sweat and struggle, it's about commanding it through spiritual alignment and the power of your spoken word. Every single day, without realizing it, you're issuing commands to the universe through your words, your thoughts, and your vibration. When you say things like, "I can't afford this," "money is tight," or "I'm always broke," you're not just describing your situation, you're actually creating it. The universe, being perfectly obedient to spiritual law, responds to these declarations by making them your reality. But here's where it gets fascinating. Just as your words have been creating limitation, they can also create abundance. There's a specific way of speaking, a particular spiritual frequency that money responds to immediately. When you align your voice with divine authority and speak from certainty rather than fear, something remarkable happens. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful affirmations. This is about understanding that there are precise spiritual laws governing abundance, and when you learn to work with these laws instead of against them, your entire financial reality can shift in ways that seem almost miraculous to others, but are simply natural law in action. The people who seem to effortlessly attract wealth aren't lucky. They're aligned. They've discovered that money, at its core, is pure spiritual energy, a substance that flows according to universal principles most people never learn. This isn't some mystical concept floating in the clouds. It's actually incredibly practical when you understand how it works. If you're serious about transforming your financial reality and want to stay connected to teachings that actually work, subscribe to this channel. This is where people come when they're ready to move beyond theory into real, demonstrable results. I don't want you to miss a single piece of wisdom that could be the key to your breakthrough. Think about electricity for a moment. You can't see it, but when you flip a switch, lights turn on. You don't question whether electricity exists because you see its effects everywhere. Money operates on the same principle. It's invisible energy that manifests as visible results when you know how to direct it properly. The hidden truth behind every financial transformation lies in understanding that your words aren't just sounds you make or thoughts you express. They're actual commands being issued to the invisible forces that shape your reality. The universe is constantly listening, waiting with perfect attention for your voice to issue clear and uncompromising instructions. This revelation changes everything because it means you have far more control over your circumstances than you ever imagined. Every time you speak, you're programming your reality. When you declare, "I never have enough money," you're not describing your situation. You're ordering more of the same. When you say, "I can't afford this," you're commanding your reality to reflect that limitation. The impact of this understanding ripples through every decision you make about your financial future. Behind the scenes of your current situation lies a trail of words you've spoken, thoughts you've entertained, and vibrations you've been broadcasting. The universe, being perfectly obedient to this cosmic law, has been faithfully fulfilling your spoken instructions, whether those instructions serve your highest good or keep you trapped in limitation. Most people live their entire lives without grasping this fundamental principle. They wonder why abundance seems to avoid them, why opportunities pass them by, why money feels so hard to come by. The answer lies in their daily dialogue with the universe. They've been giving mixed signals, unclear instructions, and commands rooted in fear rather than faith. Your journey from unconscious creation to conscious command begins the moment you realize that if you created your current reality through unconscious words, imagine what you can create through conscious ones. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because there's a specific mechanism at work here that most people never discover about how the universe actually responds to human consciousness. Write in the comments, "I'm ready to command," if this resonates with you, and you can feel the shift beginning to happen in your understanding. The mechanism I'm talking about operates with a precision that would astound you if you could see it in action. The universe doesn't have opinions about your words. It doesn't judge whether what you're declaring will make you happy or serve your highest good. It simply responds to the vibrational frequency you're broadcasting with the same mathematical accuracy that governs the tides, the seasons, and the movement of planets. This revelation transforms everything because it means the universe has been serving you faithfully all along. It's just been serving whatever you've been consistently speaking into existence. When you understand this level of cosmic obedience, you realize that your financial struggles aren't because the universe is against you or because you're unlucky. They exist because you've been unknowingly programming limitation through your daily dialogue with reality. The transformation happens when you shift from speaking out of fear to speaking from certainty. Most people approach money from a place of anxiety, constantly worried about not having enough, always focused on what they lack. But when you align your voice with divine authority, something profound occurs in the invisible realm. Instead of you chasing opportunities, opportunities begin chasing you. Instead of money being elusive and hard to come by, it starts flowing through channels you never even considered. This isn't about luck or coincidence. It's about creating a magnetic field around yourself that naturally attracts abundance. The hidden truth behind this transformation lies in understanding that fear and certainty operate on completely different frequencies. When you speak from fear, you're essentially broadcasting a signal that says, "I don't have enough, I'm not worthy, abundance is scarce." The universe, being perfectly obedient, responds by creating more circumstances that justify those exact feelings. But when you learn to speak from certainty, from a place of knowing that abundance is your natural state, you're broadcasting an entirely different signal. You're declaring that you expect prosperity, that you deserve financial freedom, that money flows to you easily and naturally. The impact of this shift in frequency cannot be overstated. Behind the scenes of every financial breakthrough, every unexpected windfall, every moment when money seemed to appear from nowhere, there was someone who had learned to speak with this kind of certainty. They discovered how to issue commands from spiritual authority rather than earthly desperation. Your journey from financial struggle to effortless abundance hinges on mastering this one fundamental shift. The decisions you make about which frequency to speak from, fear or faith, worry or certainty, doubt or conviction, are literally decisions about what kind of reality you want to experience. Now, there's something even more profound happening here that takes this understanding to a completely different level. Write in the comments, "I choose certainty," if you can feel this shift beginning to happen in your own relationship with money. What I'm about to share will fundamentally change how you listen to conversations around you. Pay attention to how truly successful people speak about money and opportunities. You'll notice something remarkable. They never use tentative language. They don't say, "I hope things work out," or Maybe I'll be able to afford that someday. They speak with absolute certainty, as if their words carry weight in the invisible realm. And here's the revelation that changes everything. They do. When someone with true financial mastery says, "I'm investing in that property next month," they're not expressing a wish or stating a goal. They're issuing a decree. When they declare money flows to me easily, they're not trying to convince themselves of something untrue. They're acknowledging a spiritual reality they've learned to activate through conscious speech. The hidden truth behind their success lies in understanding something most people never grasp. Every declaration you make is like signing a spiritual contract with the universe. Your words don't just float harmlessly in the air as mere expressions of thought. They actively program and create your financial circumstances with the precision of a master craftsman shaping reality. This revelation transforms your entire relationship with language because it means you've been unconsciously entering into agreements with cosmic forces every time you speak. When you casually say, "I can never get ahead," you're literally contracting for that exact experience. When you declare, "Money doesn't come easily to me," you're programming that specific limitation into your reality. The impact of recognizing this divine authority in your voice cannot be overstated. Behind the scenes of every word you've ever spoken, invisible forces have been responding, rearranging circumstances, and manifesting according to the vibrational instructions you've been broadcasting. The universe doesn't distinguish between what you say seriously and what you mention casually. It responds to the frequency you're consistently transmitting. Your journey from unconscious programming to conscious creation begins when you realize that changing your financial reality isn't about learning complex strategies or working harder. It's about becoming intentional with the spiritual contracts you're signing through your daily speech. The decisions you make about which words to speak and how to speak them become the most important financial decisions you'll ever make. This understanding opens up an entirely new dimension of possibility because it reveals that you have access to the same creative power that successful people use instinctively. Now, there's a specific sentence that embodies this principle so powerfully that speaking it correctly can literally reprogram decades of limitation. Write in the comments, "My words create contracts," if you're beginning to understand the incredible responsibility and power that flows through every word you speak. The sentence I'm referring to contains such concentrated power that it can undo years of unconscious programming in a matter of days. But before I reveal it, you need to understand something that will completely shift how you view your current circumstances. Your financial situation right now isn't something that's happening to you. It's happening through you. Every struggle, every limitation, every moment of lack that you've experienced has been the direct result of commands you've unknowingly issued through your words and emotional vibrations. This isn't about blame. It's about empowerment. Because if you created your current reality through unconscious commands, imagine what you can create through conscious ones. The transformation begins when you realize that behind every financial challenge in your life lies a trail of unconscious declarations. That persistent struggle to pay bills? It's connected to countless times you've said, "Money is so hard to come by." Those unexpected expenses that always seem to appear, they're manifestations of your repeated declarations that something always goes wrong financially. This revelation is liberating because it means you have far more control than you ever imagined. The universe has been responding to your words with mathematical precision, which means that transforming your financial reality is as simple as consciously changing your spiritual vocabulary. When you replace "I can't afford it" with "money flows to me easily," you're not just thinking positively, you're issuing new commands to the same cosmic forces that created your current situation. The impact of this vocabulary shift ripples through every aspect of your financial experience. Your subconscious mind, which controls most of your daily decisions and behaviors, begins operating from this new programming. The universe starts receiving different vibrational instructions and responds by rearranging circumstances to match your new declarations. Behind the scenes of this transformation, something profound happens in the invisible realm. The same spiritual laws that manifested limitation begin manifesting abundance. The same cosmic forces that created struggle start creating flow. The journey from unconscious creation to conscious command represents one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your relationship with money. The decisions you make about your daily vocabulary become decisions about your daily reality. Every casual comment about money becomes a moment of choice between programming limitation or commanding abundance. Now, there's a specific way to accelerate this transformation that goes beyond just changing individual words to completely rewiring your entire financial frequency. Write in the comments, "I reprogram my reality," if you're ready to take conscious control of the spiritual vocabulary that's been creating your financial experience. The acceleration I'm talking about involves a fundamental shift in your energetic relationship with money itself. Most people spend their entire lives chasing money, constantly pursuing it, worrying about it, strategizing how to get more of it. But there's a completely different approach that transforms you from someone who chases money into someone who commands it. If this content created a shift in your understanding, if you can feel the power behind these principles, show me by hitting the like button. It's your way of saying, "This resonated with my soul," and it helps ensure that more people who need this message will find it exactly when they're ready. This transformation in mindset changes everything, because when you chase something, you're operating from a position of lack, constantly focused on what you don't have. But when you command something, you're operating from a position of authority, speaking as someone who expects obedience to your declarations. Behind every significant financial breakthrough you've ever witnessed, there was someone who learned to speak from spiritual authority rather than earthly desperation. They discovered that the universe responds to confident commands, not desperate pleas. When you speak as someone who commands money rather than chases it, you're tapping into the same creative force that governs all manifestation. The impact of this shift ripples through every decision you make because it changes the very frequency you're broadcasting. Instead of sending out vibrations of need and lack, you begin transmitting signals of expectation and authority. The universe, responding to this new frequency, starts arranging circumstances to match your elevated state of consciousness. Your journey from chaser to commander begins when you understand that money isn't hiding from you or playing hard to get. It's simply waiting for clear, authoritative instructions from someone who speaks with divine certainty. The hidden truth is that money responds to the same spiritual laws that govern all energy. It flows toward confident direction and away from desperate pursuit. This revelation brings us to something truly extraordinary. Hidden within ancient spiritual wisdom lies one specific sentence that carries such concentrated power and precise vibrational frequency that it can literally instruct infinite source to open every concealed doorway of abundance in your life. This isn't just another affirmation or positive statement. This is a spiritual key that unlocks the treasury of the universe. The sentence I'm about to share with you has been tested by time, proven by countless individuals who dared to speak it with conviction, and it operates with the same reliability as gravity or any other natural law. When you speak it consistently and with absolute faith in its power, the universe has no choice but to respond. Now let me reveal to you this sacred formula that can transform your relationship with money forever. Write in the comments, "I'm ready to command abundance," if you can feel the shift happening and you're prepared to step into this new level of financial authority. The formula operates on a principle that will completely change how you understand the mechanics of manifestation. The universe functions like a vast, infinitely sophisticated computer system, and your words are the programming language that determines what gets created in your reality. Most people have been unconsciously coding limitation, scarcity, and struggle into their experience without even realizing they're programming anything at all. When you say, "I can't afford this," or "money doesn't come easily to me," you're essentially writing code that instructs the universal computer to maintain those exact conditions in your life. The system doesn't judge whether your programming serves you. It simply executes whatever instructions you consistently input through your spoken word and emotional vibration. But here's where the transformation becomes profound. When you learn the correct syntax, when you discover how to speak in the language that the universe recognizes as commands for abundance, The results are immediate and undeniable. This isn't about hoping or wishing or trying to feel good about money. This is about understanding that you're literally programming your financial reality every time you speak. The sacred sentence I'm about to share works because it transforms you into the path of least resistance for money to flow. Think about water for a moment. It always flows toward the path that offers the least resistance to its natural movement. Money, being energy, operates according to this same fundamental principle. Most people unconsciously create resistance to their financial good through worry, doubt, and limiting beliefs. They become like rocks in a stream, forcing abundance to flow around them rather than through them. But when you speak the sacred sentence with understanding and conviction, something remarkable happens in the invisible realm. You become magnetically aligned with the natural flow of prosperity. Instead of money having to work around your resistance, it begins flowing directly to you because you've removed every obstacle to its movement. The impact of this alignment cannot be overstated because it means you stop working against cosmic forces and start working with them. Behind the scenes of this transformation, the universe begins rearranging circumstances, opening channels, and creating opportunities that align perfectly with your new vibrational frequency. The decisions you make about how to speak this sentence and with what level of conviction determine how quickly and powerfully it transforms your financial reality. Now let me share with you the exact words that carry this life-changing power. Write in the comments, "I remove all resistance," if you can feel yourself becoming aligned with this natural flow of abundance. The exact words that carry this transformative power are, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let all that is mine by divine, right now, reach me in great avalanches of abundance." These aren't just words strung together, hopefully. This is a precisely crafted spiritual command that addresses the source of all abundance directly, removes every obstacle to your prosperity, and calls forth your divine inheritance with absolute authority. When you speak this sentence correctly and consistently, something extraordinary begins happening in your daily experience. Instead of you constantly chasing money, worrying about where the next payment will come from, or strategizing about financial security, money starts seeking you out. It finds you through unexpected channels that you never could have planned or predicted. Suddenly, you receive surprise bonuses at work, unexpected checks arrive in the mail, debts get mysteriously forgiven, or opportunities appear that seem perfectly tailored to your needs. This isn't about luck or coincidence. It's about creating a magnetic field of abundance around yourself through precise alignment with spiritual law. The transformation from anxiety to divine certainty represents one of the most profound shifts you can experience. Instead of waking up each morning with that familiar knot of financial worry in your stomach, wondering how you'll make ends meet this month, you begin experiencing something completely different. You develop an unshakable knowing that your supply is assured because you've aligned yourself with the laws that govern abundance. This isn't just confidence or positive thinking. It's a deep, cellular-level certainty that arises when you understand how the universe actually operates. Behind the scenes of what appears to be a chaotic, unpredictable world, there are precise, immutable laws governing everything. The universe operates with mathematical precision according to spiritual principles that are as reliable as gravity. Your journey from financial anxiety to divine certainty happens when you realize that you're not at the mercy of economic forces. You're working with cosmic forces. The impact of this understanding changes how you move through the world. You make decisions from abundance rather than scarcity. You speak about your future with confidence because you know your words are creating that future. This transformation in consciousness creates a ripple effect that touches every area of your life. When you're no longer operating from financial fear, you attract opportunities that you would have missed when vibrating at the frequency of lack and limitation. Now, there's a specific way to implement this sacred sentence that accelerates the entire process and locks in your new financial frequency. Write in the comments, "I live in divine certainty," if you can feel this shift beginning to happen in your relationship with money and abundance. The implementation method I'm about to share taps into something that goes far deeper than most people ever discover about how reality actually operates. You see, behind what appears to be a chaotic, unpredictable world filled with random events and circumstances beyond your control, there exists a framework of precise, immutable, divine laws governing absolutely everything. The universe doesn't operate on luck, chance, or coincidence. It functions with mathematical precision according to spiritual principles that are as dependable and consistent as the law of gravity. When you drop something, you don't wonder if it might fall. You know it will, because gravity operates with unwavering reliability. The same certainty applies to the laws governing abundance and manifestation. This revelation takes us back to the very foundation of creation itself, because understanding this completely revolutionizes how you view the power that flows through your own voice. From the very beginning of existence, when the universe was nothing but void and darkness, creation didn't happen through physical tools or mechanical processes. The entire cosmos came into being through spoken word. Let there be light, and there was light. This wasn't just a description of what happened. These words were the actual creative mechanism through which reality emerged from nothingness. Sound, vibration, spoken declaration. This is the fundamental blueprint for how creation works. The hidden truth that changes everything is that this same divine authority through spoken word has been gifted to you. You carry within your vocal cords the same creative power that spoke galaxies into existence, that commanded light to pierce through darkness, that established the laws of physics and set the planets in their courses. Most people go through their entire lives treating their voice as mere decoration, just a way to communicate thoughts or express emotions. But your voice is actually a creative force of immense power. Every single word you speak carries vibration, and every vibration issues precise instructions to the substance of the universe. The impact of understanding this cannot be overstated because it means you're not separate from the creative force that built reality. You're an active participant in it. Behind the scenes of every word you've ever spoken, invisible forces have been responding, rearranging, and manifesting according to the vibrational instructions you've been broadcasting. Your journey from unconscious speaking to conscious creation begins when you realize that the sacred sentence works because it aligns your voice with the same creative frequency that spoke the universe into existence. Now, there's a specific rhythm and approach to speaking this sentence that amplifies its power exponentially. Write in the comments, "My voice creates reality," if you're beginning to grasp the incredible creative power that flows through every word you speak. The rhythm I'm talking about connects you to the fundamental frequency of creation itself. When you understand that your vocal cords carry the same creative power that commanded light to pierce through darkness, that established the precise laws of physics, and that set entire galaxies spinning in perfect harmony, everything about how you approach speaking changes completely. This isn't metaphorical or symbolic, it's mechanical. Every single word that passes through your lips carries vibrational frequency, and every vibration issues precise instructions to the substance of the universe. Your voice is literally programming your reality moment by moment, word by word, declaration by declaration. When you subscribe, you're not just getting access to more content. You're joining a community of people who understand that words create worlds and that spiritual law is the most practical tool for creating abundance. Hit that subscribe button because your journey into conscious creation is just beginning. The transformation happens when you realize that you've been unconsciously programming limitation and scarcity through casual, unconscious speech patterns. Every time you've said, "I can't afford it," or "money doesn't grow on trees," you've been issuing creative commands that the universe has faithfully fulfilled with the same precision it uses to maintain the orbit of planets. But here's where the revelation becomes profound. If your unconscious words have been creating limitation, then conscious words spoken with understanding and conviction can create abundance. The same creative mechanism that manifests struggle can manifest prosperity. The same vibrational frequency that creates lack can create overflow. The impact of this understanding ripples through every conversation you have, every thought you voice, every casual comment you make about money. Behind the scenes of your current financial situation lies a pattern of words you've spoken consistently over time. The universe has been serving your declarations with perfect loyalty, whether those declarations created the life you wanted or kept you trapped in patterns you didn't understand. Your journey from unconscious creation to conscious command requires becoming incredibly intentional about the vibrational instructions you're broadcasting. The decisions you make about which words to speak and how to speak them become decisions about what kind of reality you want to experience. When you speak the sacred sentence with this level of understanding, when you approach it with the reverence of someone who knows they're wielding the same creative force that spoke the cosmos into existence, something profound shifts in the invisible realm. The universe begins responding to your words not as requests or hopes, but as authoritative commands that must be fulfilled. Now, there's a specific emotional frequency that must accompany these words to activate their full transformative power. And understanding this frequency is what separates those who see miraculous results from those who speak the words without effect. Write in the comments, "I speak with creative authority," if you can feel the magnitude of the power that flows through your voice every time you speak. The emotional frequency I'm referring to operates on a principle that will completely transform how you understand the relationship between your inner state and your outer circumstances. When you speak from fear, that fear doesn't just stay in your mind as a harmless worry. It literally becomes form in your physical experience with the same precision that thoughts become things. Every worried statement about money, every anxious declaration about your financial future, every fearful prediction about what might happen. These aren't just thoughts floating harmlessly in the air. They're creative commands that the universe interprets as direct instructions to manifest more circumstances that will justify and amplify that exact fear. The hidden truth behind this mechanism is that the universe doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you don't want. It only responds to the emotional frequency you're consistently broadcasting. When you speak about money from a place of worry, anxiety, or scarcity, you're essentially programming your reality to provide more experiences that validate those emotions. But here's where the transformation becomes profound and liberating. When you speak from truth, from divine certainty, from spiritual authority, that truth becomes substance in your reality with the same mechanical precision. The same creative mechanism that manifests fear-based circumstances can manifest abundant circumstances when properly directed through conscious speech. This revelation changes everything because it means you're not trying to override some external force that's working against you. You're simply redirecting the same creative power that's been faithfully serving your unconscious commands toward conscious commands that align with your highest good. The impact of this understanding reaches into every moment of your day because it means that the emotional state from which you speak the sacred sentence determines how quickly and powerfully it manifests in your experience. When you speak from a place of desperation, trying to convince yourself of something you don't really believe, you're broadcasting mixed signals that create mixed results. But when you speak from truth, from the knowing that abundance is your natural state, from the certainty that the universe is designed to respond to your authoritative commands, you're broadcasting a clear, unwavering signal that the cosmos must obey. Behind the scenes of this transformation, your entire nervous system begins rewiring itself to expect prosperity rather than struggle. Your subconscious mind starts operating from this new frequency, automatically attracting circumstances that match your elevated state of consciousness. Now, there's a specific practice that locks in this emotional frequency and creates the kind of consistency that generates miraculous results in your financial reality. Write in the comments, "I speak from truth," if you can feel the shift happening from fear-based thinking to truth-based creation in your own relationship with abundance. The practice I'm about to share is rooted in an ancient understanding that completely reverses how most people approach their relationship with abundance. Scripture declares with absolute clarity, "Thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee." Notice the precise language here. It doesn't say you need to understand how it works, earn it through suffering, or prove you deserve it through struggle. It simply says you must decree it. This revelation transforms everything because it means you're not begging for abundance or asking for favors from a reluctant universe. You're commanding it. You're not requesting permission from circumstances or waiting for external conditions to improve. You're issuing spiritual instructions that transcend physical limitations. The transformation from requesting to decreeing represents one of the most profound shifts you can make in consciousness. Most people approach money like they're pleading with cosmic forces, hoping something might work out, wishing conditions would change. But the hidden truth is that abundance is actually the natural state of the universe, waiting patiently for your authoritative command. When you decree something from a place of spiritual authority, backed by divine certainty, and spoken with unwavering conviction, the universe has no choice but to establish it unto you. This isn't about forcing outcomes or manipulating circumstances. It's about aligning with the fundamental laws that govern how energy moves through reality. The impact of this shift from pleading to decreeing creates a ripple effect that touches every aspect of your financial experience. Behind the scenes of this transformation, you stop operating like a victim of circumstances and start functioning as a co-creator with cosmic forces. Your entire approach to challenges changes because you understand that every obstacle is an opportunity to demonstrate your spiritual authority. Your journey from unconscious requesting to conscious decreeing requires understanding that when a judge issues a decree in court, there's no pleading, no uncertainty, no doubt in their voice. They speak with the full weight of legal authority behind them, knowing their words carry the power to change reality. This is exactly the same energy you must bring to your financial declarations. The decisions you make about whether to approach the sacred sentence as a desperate plea or an authoritative decree determine how quickly and powerfully it transforms your circumstances. When you speak it with the conviction of someone who knows their word is law, something profound shifts in the invisible realm. Now there's a specific timing and rhythm to this decreeing practice that amplifies its effectiveness and creates the kind of momentum that generates breakthrough results. Write in the comments, "I decree with authority," if you're ready to step into this level of spiritual command and stop asking permission for your own abundance. The timing and rhythm I'm referring to reveals a hidden truth about why most people struggle despite knowing these principles. They spend their entire lives speaking like beggars instead of declaring with authority, approaching money from a place of lack and uncertainty, never understanding that this very approach keeps them trapped in the exact limitations they're trying to escape. Listen to the conversations happening around you every day, and you'll hear the precise reason why so many people remain stuck in financial struggle. They say things like, "I hope I can afford it," which is actually a command to the universe to keep that item just beyond their reach. They declare, "I'm always broke," which becomes a spiritual verdict that ensures they'll continue experiencing that exact reality with mathematical precision. The transformation happens when you realize that the universe takes your words literally with the same precision a computer follows programming code. When you say, "I can't afford it," the cosmic forces don't interpret this as temporary disappointment or casual conversation. They receive it as a direct command to maintain that state of being unable to afford things, and they fulfill that instruction with unwavering obedience. This revelation about how language creates reality explains the hidden mechanics behind why some people seem to attract money effortlessly, while others struggle despite tremendous effort. It's not about education, background, or even opportunity. It's about the fundamental difference between speaking from spiritual authority versus speaking from earthly limitation. Behind the scenes of every financial breakthrough lies someone who learned to speak as one who commands rather than one who begs. They discovered that the universe responds to confident declarations, not desperate requests. The impact of this understanding reaches into every casual comment, every offhand remark, every unconscious statement about money. Your journey from unconscious poverty programming to conscious abundance commanding requires a complete overhaul of your spiritual vocabulary. Every moment becomes a choice between reinforcing limitation or establishing prosperity through your spoken word. The decisions you make about consistency in your speech determine whether you experience consistent results or constant confusion. You cannot declare abundance in the morning when you're feeling inspired and then complain about money in the afternoon when bills arrive. The universe doesn't distinguish between what you mean seriously and what you say casually. It responds to the vibrational frequency you're consistently broadcasting throughout your day. This mindset shift requires a level of spiritual discipline that transforms you from someone who reacts to circumstances into someone who creates circumstances through conscious decree. When you choose to speak only the language of abundance, when you refuse to give voice to limitation, something profound begins shifting in the invisible realm. Now, there's a specific challenge that will prove to you beyond any doubt that these principles work, and it requires committing to a practice that will rewire your entire relationship with money in just 7 days. Write in the comments, "I choose conscious speech," if you're ready to take complete responsibility for every word you speak and transform your financial reality through disciplined communication. The challenge I'm about to share with you will demonstrate something that completely revolutionizes how most people understand the relationship between effort and results. Your voice operates like a spiritual remote control that's constantly programming your financial experience through vibrational instructions, and this operates mechanically, not metaphorically. When you speak, you're literally setting spiritual law into motion with machine-like precision. Every declaration you make places the gears of universal supply into movement, either opening or closing the floodgates of abundance based on the exact vibrational frequency you're broadcasting. This mechanical nature of spiritual law explains why some people experience dramatic financial transformations when they learn to speak correctly, while others remain stuck despite years of positive thinking. A simple like on this video tells me that we connected today, that these teachings landed in fertile ground. It also helps the algorithm share this wisdom with others who are searching for real answers to their financial struggles. Your like might be what helps someone else discover their path to abundance. The hidden truth that changes everything is that money, being spiritual substance, responds exclusively to vibrational instruction, not physical exertion. You can work 18 hours a day, exhaust yourself with multiple jobs, stress yourself into illness, worrying about bills, and still struggle financially because you're operating under the fundamental illusion that physical effort creates financial results. But money doesn't care how hard you work. It cares how clearly you command. This revelation explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract wealth, while others struggle despite tremendous effort. Those who understand this principle speak to money like a master speaks to a servant, with clear expectations, unwavering authority, and absolute confidence that their commands will be obeyed. Behind the scenes of every financial breakthrough lies someone who discovered that the universe responds to spiritual frequency, not physical force. They learned that the shortest distance between financial struggle and financial freedom isn't through more effort, but through disciplined speech that aligns with cosmic law. The transformation happens when you realize that you can stop exhausting yourself, trying to force outcomes, and start focusing on the one thing that actually creates results, speaking with the kind of spiritual authority that money recognizes and obeys immediately. Your journey from effort-based thinking to frequency-based creation represents one of the most liberating shifts you can make. The impact of this understanding reaches into every decision you make about your time and energy. Instead of wondering how you can work harder to solve financial challenges, you begin asking how you can speak more clearly to command the situation through your word. This mindset shift from physical manipulation to spiritual alignment opens up possibilities that seemed impossible from your previous level of consciousness. The decisions you make about which frequency to consistently broadcast through your spoken word become the most important financial decisions you can make. When you commit to speaking only words that align with abundance, when you refuse to give voice to limitation, when you become rhythmic and deliberate in your declarations, you literally reprogram your subconscious mind and command the universe to respond differently. Now, there's a specific 7-day protocol that will prove to you beyond any doubt that these principles operate with the same reliability as any natural law. Write in the comments, frequency over effort, if you're ready to stop working harder and start speaking with the authority that makes money respond immediately to your commands. The protocol operates on a principle that most people never discover about how the universe actually responds to human communication. The cosmic forces don't respond to timid requests or hesitant suggestions. They respond to confident commands, spoken with unwavering authority. When you speak with bold certainty, rhythmic repetition, and absolute conviction that your words carry divine power, money cannot ignore the vibrational instructions. You're broadcasting. Most people approach their financial declarations like they're whispering in a crowded room, hoping someone might hear them. But the universe requires clarity, boldness, and rhythmic consistency to activate the kind of response that creates breakthrough results. The transformation happens when you realize that tentative speech creates tentative results, while authoritative speech commands immediate attention from the forces that govern abundance. Behind the scenes of every significant financial shift lies someone who learned to speak as if their words actually matter, because they do. They discovered that the universe doesn't respond to volume or emotional manipulation, but to the frequency of certainty and divine authority that comes through clear, bold declaration. Your journey from hesitant, hoping to confident commanding begins when you understand that there is absolutely no neutrality in speech. Every single word that passes through your lips is a cause, setting effects into motion in the invisible realm. Every sentence you speak is literally a seed that will eventually grow into the circumstances of your future reality. This revelation transforms how you approach every conversation because you realize that most people, without knowing it, are constantly sowing seeds of poverty through their daily dialogue, then wondering why they keep harvesting financial struggle. The impact of this understanding reaches into every casual comment, every offhand remark, every seemingly innocent statement about what you can or cannot afford. The hidden truth is that your current financial circumstances represent the harvest of words you've been speaking over months and years, each one a seed that has grown into the reality you're experiencing today. When you grasp this level of cause and effect between your speech and your circumstances, you become incredibly intentional about what you're cultivating through your daily vocabulary. The decisions you make about which words to plant in the fertile soil of universal consciousness become decisions about what kind of financial garden you want to grow in your life. Behind the scenes of this transformation, you stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming a deliberate architect of your reality through conscious speech. Your transformation from unconscious seed sowing to conscious creation requires establishing a rhythm that reprograms your subconscious mind and establishes a new, vibrational frequency that operates continuously in your life. The 7-day protocol I'm about to share creates this exact rhythm through a specific practice that locks in your new financial frequency and proves that these principles work with mathematical precision. Now let me share with you the exact structure of this challenge that will demonstrate beyond any doubt that your words truly do create your world. Write in the comments, "I plant abundant seeds," if you're ready to become completely intentional about every word you speak and take conscious control of the reality you're creating through your daily vocabulary. The structure of this challenge is built on a revelation that completely transforms how most people understand their relationship with abundance. Money is not scarce, cruel, or hiding from you. Despite what the news might tell you, despite what economic experts might predict, despite what your current bank balance might suggest, money itself is not the problem. Money is simply spiritual substance waiting patiently for clear commands from a spiritually aligned voice. It's been there all along, ready to respond, ready to flow, ready to manifest in your experience. The hidden truth that liberates you from financial struggle is understanding that money responds to authority, not effort. You can exhaust yourself working multiple jobs, sacrifice your health and relationships in pursuit of financial security, stress yourself into illness, worrying about bills, and still struggle financially because you're operating from the wrong paradigm entirely. Money doesn't care how hard you work. It cares how clearly you command. This revelation explains why some people seem to effortlessly attract wealth, while others struggle despite tremendous effort. Those who understand this principle speak to money like a master speaks to a servant, with clear expectations, unwavering authority, and absolute confidence that their commands will be obeyed. They've learned that the universe responds to spiritual frequency, not physical force. The transformation from effort-based thinking to authority-based creation represents one of the most liberating shifts you can experience. Behind the scenes of this paradigm change, you stop exhausting yourself trying to force outcomes and start focusing on the one thing that actually creates results, speaking with the kind of spiritual authority that money recognizes and obeys immediately. Your journey from working harder to speaking clearer begins when you realize that every financial challenge in your life can be resolved through conscious decree rather than desperate action. The impact of this understanding reaches into every decision you make about how to spend your time and energy. Instead of asking yourself how you can work more hours or take on additional responsibilities, you begin asking how you can speak more authoritatively to command the situation through your word. This mindset shift, from physical manipulation to spiritual alignment, opens up possibilities that seemed impossible from your previous level of consciousness. The decisions you make about consistency in your speech become the most important financial decisions you can make. The 7-day challenge creates a controlled environment where you can experience firsthand how quickly the universe responds to consistent, authoritative declaration. During these 7 days, you'll speak the sacred sentence every morning and evening while maintaining complete discipline in your daily financial vocabulary. Now, there's a specific reason why 7 days creates the perfect time frame for this transformation, and understanding this timing principle will help you approach the challenge with the level of commitment that generates breakthrough results. Write in the comments, authority over effort, if you're ready to stop working harder and start commanding with the spiritual authority that makes money respond immediately to your voice. The timing principle behind 7 days connects to something profound about how consciousness shifts and new patterns establish themselves in your reality. Most people spend their entire lives trying to figure out complicated formulas for financial success, but the universe operates on elegance and simplicity. One sentence spoken in spiritual alignment with rhythmic repetition and unwavering belief can undo a lifetime of financial limitation and completely rewire your subconscious mind for abundance. Not a library full of books, not years of complex strategies, not decades of hard work. One precisely crafted sentence spoken correctly, consistently, and with absolute conviction. The impact of this understanding cannot be overstated because it means your entire financial destiny can shift through the power of conscious speech. The sacred sentence that carries this transformative power is, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let all that is mine by divine right now reach me in great avalanches of abundance." These aren't just words strung together hopefully. This is a precisely crafted spiritual command that addresses the source of all abundance directly, removes every obstacle to your prosperity, and calls forth your divine inheritance with unwavering authority. Every word has been chosen for its specific vibrational frequency. Every phrase carries divine authority, and the entire structure creates a spiritual command that the universe must obey. When you begin with infinite spirit, you're addressing the source directly, bypassing every limited channel that the world would have you depend on. Instead of looking to your job, your investments, or your current circumstances as your source, you're declaring your trust in the inexhaustible wellspring of all abundance. Behind the scenes of this declaration, something remarkable happens in the invisible realm. You're not trying to convince the universe to help you. You're working with cosmic principles that are as dependable as gravity. The transformation happens through understanding that you're removing subconscious interference, dissolving mental blocks, and creating a clear pathway for manifestation. The 7-day time frame creates the perfect window for this new frequency to establish itself in your consciousness. During these 7 days, you'll speak this sentence every morning upon waking and every evening before sleep, while maintaining absolute discipline in your daily speech about money. You're absolutely forbidden from speaking lack in any form during this period. Now, there's something specific that happens during these 7 days that demonstrates how quickly spiritual law responds to consistent, authoritative declaration, and understanding this process will help you recognize the signs that your transformation is already beginning. Write in the comments, "I speak the sacred sentence," if you're ready to commit to this 7-day practice and Experience firsthand how one powerful sentence can reprogram your entire financial reality. The process that unfolds during these 7 days reveals something crucial about how the universe interprets your communications. You cannot speak 2 languages and expect clarity from cosmic forces. The hidden truth behind most failed manifestation attempts lies in mixed messaging. People declare abundance in the morning when they're feeling inspired, then complain about money in the afternoon when bills arrive. This inconsistency creates confusion in the invisible realm because the universe doesn't distinguish between what you say seriously and what you mention casually. It responds to the predominant vibrational frequency you're broadcasting throughout your day. Consistency in speech determines consistency in results with mathematical precision. Your transformation during these 7 days requires becoming completely disciplined in your speech, absolutely deliberate, bold, spiritual, and rhythmic in every word you speak about money. This isn't casual positive thinking or occasional affirmations. This is about understanding that your life reflects your language with the same accuracy that a mirror reflects your physical appearance. Behind the scenes of this disciplined practice, something profound happens in your subconscious mind. Every casual comment, every offhand remark, every unconscious statement about money either reinforces your spiritual command or completely undermines it. The impact of maintaining this level of speech discipline transforms you from someone who reacts to circumstances into someone who creates circumstances through conscious decree. The journey from unconscious speaking to conscious creation requires vigilance about every word that passes through your lips. During these 7 days, you'll catch yourself starting to say things like, "I can't afford it," or "money is tight," and you'll consciously redirect those statements into declarations of abundance. This process rewires your neural pathways and establishes new automatic response patterns. The decisions you make about maintaining this discipline determine whether you experience a minor shift or a complete breakthrough. Most people sabotage their own manifestations through inconsistent speaking. They'll declare powerfully about their abundance for a few days, then spend weeks complaining about their bills, wondering why the universe seems confused about what they actually want. But when you commit to speaking only one language, the language of divine supply, spiritual authority, and certain abundance, everything begins to align in ways that seem miraculous to others, but are simply the natural outcome of consistent vibrational broadcasting. Your nervous system begins expecting prosperity rather than struggle, and this expectation creates a magnetic field that attracts circumstances matching your elevated state of consciousness. The transformation accelerates when you realize that this isn't about pretending or lying to yourself. You're actually speaking from the invisible realm where your abundance already exists, waiting for your command to manifest in physical form. Now, there's a specific way to approach this practice that ensures maximum effectiveness and creates the fastest possible results. Write in the comments, "I choose one language," if you're ready to commit to speaking only words that create the financial reality you desire, and maintain this discipline throughout your 7-day transformation. The approach that ensures maximum effectiveness centers on establishing a sacred rhythm that programs your subconscious mind for abundance during the most receptive moments of your consciousness. Every morning before you check your phone, before you engage with the world's energy, before you allow external circumstances to influence your inner state, you must speak the sacred sentence clearly as one who is already provided for. This morning practice sets the vibrational tone for your entire day, because your subconscious mind is most open to new programming during the transition from sleep to waking consciousness. When you begin each day by declaring your abundance, by addressing infinite spirit as your source rather than your circumstances as your limitation, you're programming your mind to expect and attract prosperity throughout the day. The evening practice is equally crucial because it determines what your subconscious processes during sleep. Every evening before you cross the threshold into rest, you must speak again, sealing your day with declarations of divine supply rather than worries about tomorrow's challenges. This rhythm of morning and evening declaration creates a consistent vibrational frequency that money cannot ignore. Behind the scenes of this practice, you're establishing a new baseline frequency in your consciousness. Most people wake up checking their bank balance, their bills, their problems, allowing external conditions to determine their internal state. But when you establish this disciplined rhythm of conscious speaking, you begin each day from a position of spiritual authority rather than earthly anxiety. The transformation accelerates when you understand that you must never wait until you feel rich to speak as the rich speak. Most people trap themselves in a waiting game that never ends, thinking they need to feel prosperous before they can speak prosperously, believing they need evidence before they can declare abundance. But this backwards approach keeps them locked in limitation because they're trying to create from effect rather than cause. The hidden truth behind all manifestation is that you must speak it first. Feelings follow frequency, and conditions obey confession with mathematical precision. When you speak the sacred sentence with authority, when you declare your divine supply with conviction, you're not lying or pretending. You're speaking from the invisible realm where your abundance already exists, waiting for your command to manifest in the physical world. Your journey from current circumstances to desired reality begins when you understand that you're not trying to create something new. You're calling forth what already belongs to you by divine right. The impact of speaking from this elevated perspective changes the entire energy behind your words. Instead of desperate hoping, you're operating from knowing certainty. The decisions you make about the emotional frequency you bring to these declarations determine how quickly they manifest. When you speak with the feeling of someone who knows their words carry divine authority, when you bring rhythm and conviction to your declarations, the universe has no choice but to respond immediately. Now there's something specific that happens when you complete this 7-day practice that locks in your transformation and establishes your new financial frequency permanently. Write in the comments, "I speak from my desired reality," if you're ready to begin each day declaring abundance rather than reacting to circumstances, and approach this practice with the conviction of someone who knows their words create their world. The specific practice that locks in this transformation operates as a precise spiritual experiment that will prove to you beyond any doubt that these principles work with the same reliability as any natural law. For 7 consecutive days, you'll speak the sacred sentence morning and night without excuse, without doubt, without delay. This isn't a casual experiment. It's a controlled test of cosmic law that will shift something fundamental in your reality. During these 7 days, you're absolutely forbidden from speaking lack in any form. No complaining about bills, no worrying about money, no casual statements about what you can't afford. Every word that passes through your lips must align with abundance, because you're conducting a scientific experiment in consciousness, and contaminating the test with limiting language will dilute your results. The transformation begins the moment you commit to this challenge, because you're not just changing what you say, you're changing who you are at the vibrational level. Behind the scenes of these 7 days, powerful forces begin rearranging circumstances, opening channels, and preparing demonstrations that will arrive in ways you never could have predicted. Your journey from skepticism to certainty happens when you experience firsthand how quickly the universe responds to consistent, authoritative declaration. Something will shift during this period. You may receive unexpected checks, surprising job offers, creative breakthroughs that generate income, debts that suddenly get forgiven, or opportunities that appear from nowhere. This isn't about luck or coincidence. It's about creating the kind of vibrational consistency that accelerates manifestation. The impact of this 7-day commitment extends far beyond just financial demonstration, because you're actually rewiring your entire nervous system to expect prosperity rather than struggle. The decisions you make about your commitment level during these days determine whether you experience a minor shift or a complete breakthrough in your relationship with money. When your 7 days are complete, you'll seal this transformation with rapid-fire affirmations that lock in your new vibrational frequency permanently. You'll declare with absolute conviction, "Money comes to me swiftly, easily, and continuously. I command divine supply, and it appears under grace. My word is law. Money finds me, it is already done." The hidden truth behind this sealing process is that you're not trying to convince yourself of something untrue. You're acknowledging what has become true through your disciplined practice. Your word has literally become law in your experience, and money must find you, because you've aligned yourself with the fundamental principles that govern abundance. Behind the scenes of this completion ritual, something profound shifts in your consciousness. You move from hoping these principles work to knowing they must work because you've experienced their reliability firsthand. The universe has responded to your consistent commands with mathematical precision, proving that your voice carries the same creative power that spoke reality into existence. Now, there's something crucial about maintaining this new frequency and ensuring that your transformation continues expanding rather than returning to old patterns. And understanding this principle will determine whether your breakthrough becomes a permanent lifestyle change. Write in the comments, "My word is law," if you can feel the power behind this 7-day commitment and you're ready to prove to yourself that your voice truly does command your financial reality. The principle that ensures your transformation continues expanding rather than reverting to old patterns lies in understanding that this journey we've taken together today is just the beginning of something much deeper. You've received something extraordinary here, the exact spiritual technology that transforms your relationship with money from struggle to flow, from chasing to commanding, from anxiety to absolute certainty. The fact that you've stayed with me through this entire exploration tells me everything I need to know about your readiness to create real change in your life. This isn't the kind of wisdom you stumble across by accident. This understanding of how to speak abundance into existence, how to command spiritual law through conscious decree, how to reprogram your entire financial reality. This found you because you were ready for it. If you're truly ready for this level of transformation, then you're ready for everything I share on this channel. This is where people come when they're done hoping and ready to start commanding their reality. When you subscribe, you're staying connected to teachings that actually work, wisdom that creates demonstrable results in your life. This is your source for understanding how the universe really operates and how to work with cosmic forces rather than against them. If this message created a shift in your consciousness, if you can feel the power behind these principles already working in your life, comment below and simply say, "This message was meant for me." I read every single comment because I want to know that these teachings are landing in the hearts and minds of people who are truly ready to use them. And if you felt that deep connection throughout our time together today, if this content created real value in your understanding, show me by hitting the like button. It helps more people find these teachings exactly when they need them most. Speaking of which, there's a video right here that complements this topic perfectly. It reveals the specific mindset shifts that eliminate the waiting period between speaking your word and seeing your results. Click and continue with me over there because your transformation is just getting started.